Hey, welcome to my stream. So, been streaming a bit on Twitch, but I think I need to start maybe streaming a bit more on YouTube. Um, so I streamed like 20 minutes on Twitch already today, just before my dinner. Um, Dirty keyboard. Um, but I'm just trying to finish off a bit now. So I'm creating a. Let me just see. Just swap my screen. Yeah, so now you can sort of see. So previous gameplay footage I recorded. So this is really early stages now. Like it's like the first time I'm like publicly showing it, just because it's like I've just got the flying movement sort of working all right. Let's just see. Yeah, so like the idea of the game is like it's not a single player; it's gonna be multiplayer. So you're just having to like shoot each other at the sky. Maybe there's a few. Well, what I'm working on is like pickups now, but that's pretty much it. This is like I've been doing like game dev and like VR stuff for like since 2015, even earlier, maybe 2013. That's when I went to like college, so I was sort of 18 when I did that. So I've been doing this for quite a while, but the one thing I haven't really done is actually like finished a project. I've always made prototypes, and I think this is standard thing with game dev where like whatever idea you have is always too large. Like I've got multiple ideas. I've started working. You can see it on the rest of my channel, like stuff that I've got. But like I've always like prototyped the main like core mechanic, but never really. I've always wanted to move on to something else, and because I started to move on to something else because I realized the hard parts started to come up, which is actually like finishing it and starting adding assets. So I think with this game, it's just small enough for me to sort of finish it, and have it as a complete product. And if it doesn't do well, it's might make it free or it's just out there. But if it does well, then there's like a few different variations of it that I could actually do to reuse the code and make the next one still a little easier, but still like uniquely different from this currently. So that's the sort of background of this. So what I'm gonna do right now is I want to just create some like things you can maybe grab whilst playing the game, even if you like in single player, because if there's no single player like game like at all, then it's going to be a bit boring. So what I was sort of thinking is that we have I did this one earlier, but these are your typical sort of like objective dooms that way if you like fly through it. It might either be like a time trial sort of thing where they randomly spawn in a city, or I don't think I want to do races. That's sort of like going a bit too far out of the idea. I think it's a bit hard trying to calculate what place people are in. But this would sort of be like you have to go through it and then you might get a random power up, or might actually have. That's a good shout. So, say for example, I've got this ammo icon here. It's probably not going to work out exactly, but if I just create like a child class on this now, pick up objective, I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't like go too far deep into trying to plan stuff out whilst it's all in the air, but if I said like ammo, because this movement component is rotating the entire actor, whereas ideally I just have it rotate this main scene. But if I add if I just like select these ones here, go back to it. I think what matters. I think matters this one. New static mesh. Rotate it, make it a bit bigger like that, and then can sort of get the idea of what it would be. So maybe like you play through it, and then you get some like bit more powerful guns. So it's sort of up in the air. I'm just trying to like maybe concept at this stage. So I don't really need to do power-ups. I just sort of did this as this. I just got a bit sidetracked. I didn't really have too much time to develop on it straight away. But what I'm wanting to do is just general like. I was thinking that for the single player game, this would mostly be for multiplayer. I might have like a speed boost one for single player. I need to think of the class structure like later. But what I want to do is work on these just like these targets, which will just be. I don't know if I've got any target meshes. What would it be? Yep, I've got one. Right, so I'd use that. I like to add like scene components as well because even though that's probably I like to just have like maybe one more where I use this to maybe control stuff and then I can just have the opposite there because you should always really have like X being on forward direction anyway. That's just how it is in Unreal and it's just a habit that I've tried to follow. So I'm guessing this has got positions. That'd be expensive. Yeah. So what I need to do is that when my bullets collide with this, then they don't know which one I'm doing yet. I think I don't know block. I don't know if it's a block already. So right now I'm just going to do the worst possible. Like this isn't like flexible at all. I'm just like all reusable best practices. Shouldn't be casting to like single objects, but if I say do a cast to I should have a bullet here. Oh, it's not that's cool. Maybe bullets project. What's a parent class? Oh, that's material. Or is it? I don't mind. Oh, there you go. AM bullets. Right, I'll just call that. Maybe pretty chill off that as well. call it? I can call it something else, but then like maybe that might feed into like the different ammo rounds. So I'm just trying to think a tiny bit ahead, but I'm going to be working on this projectile one now. So when I tested it last, these are coming out the wrong way facing upwards, and it's because what I said before about things just need to be facing forward. Now this, I don't think I need to really have it another route. I'm just gonna do that. That'll be fine. And then on this AM projectile, this target, what I can do is make sure the thing that's overlapping cast to projectile. Not public, just projectile, because that's like the parent class. If that happens, I'll probably want to say like, I'm just going to create a custom print there, but it's going to be simple right now, but when it gets hit, it's just going to destroy itself. But then what I want to probably do is read who owns this projectile if I store it, and if I'm not storing it, I should store it. But I need to read who shot the projectile, and then I can add like 1 point to the score, maybe. Let's see what this target is. Right size, don't want to be yellow, I want them red. Blue, or yellow. So look, I've got like different things in as well, polygon icon. Let's just do this as unlit because I don't like it it's lit. Polygon. That's solid there. Solid. Why is none of these are red? So that's the one thing that's a bit annoying about the Cinity pack, is that I guess it's not like a limitation of it, it's just a limitation with most models, is that it's a bit hard to sort of choose. With this one it's like UV differently, but it's a bit hard to actually get the right correct colours you want, because they make their models in such a specific way. It's quite hard to actually get the right colour combinations you want. So they do a good job in like providing a lot of variation. But like luckily what I did earlier, and hopefully it works, is like if I create a child of it, and I'm just going to add it to here, I did modify the mass material so we can actually add like a hue offset. So I can actually make it whatever colour I want. So I'm just going to drag this onto the side. But you can see here that if I say colour is true, and then make sure that this is using the target material, I can either like fully block in the colour that I want. I believe it does. Yeah, you can see it's slightly off, but not really. I was going after, oh, what I can do is I can say use hue, and now hopefully I get like a slider. So you can see now I can, because it's like white, they've coloured it in a certain way, I can actually hopefully get like a red. So it's just a hue right now. I haven't done it to like change the value of it, so I do have to roughly get like maybe that colour. Maybe see what looks in the world. I do want it slightly. Is that red? Not like much. I think I'm close. Again, because it's just doing the hue, I don't think I can really get red like that, but I think that's sort of fine. And what I can do as well, I added it to the other one, but I can add a spinning or rotating movement to this. I think this one here is like 90, so I can just add a very basic like spin to it. Some point with that. I might also make it emissive. I want something to compile shares for lots of things, but when it's finished compiling, that I should get like an ultra emissive. So I think maybe if I no longer do that, just save everything as well. I do not think it's working, so let's see if there's any property overrides. I can just say it could be like maybe unlit by default. I don't like that one, I don't know why that's black. Okay. I mean, I can change this later, so that's not that important right now. I guess. Just to give it a quick test. Hopefully it's not lagging. This is quite sensitive right now. You can see now I've got like little bullets shooting out. Oh, when I increase the size of them. But you can sort of see what we have right now. It's quite interesting. So I think right now you have like a shit ton of velocity, which I think ideally what I want is, so like if you do it slowly, you should be able to like control it. Right now it's just like mega on and off. I don't know to even like use. Right now I'm using the grip buttons to spin it, but I could. Because the grip buttons I only have like it's either 0 or 1. But I could maybe have like each thumbstick is like a throttle. So that could be interesting actually. So you could just like spin on a dime and like set it in reverse. But it might not be like as effective. So because right now if I do that, I can't really hover, I have to do like. So I guess I could sort of like. It's super sensitive. So again, this is all like working prototype. Like even the slightest bit of thing gives me like. I feel like yeah, it's super sensitive. So I need a bit of work with that. Yeah, it's not really realistic at all. Well, it's not supposed to be realistic, but if I shoot that. It's not working. So I don't like the size of those bullets, so I'm probably going to increase the size of those bullets. This is really fun. So I guess I need to see. Let's see. That's alright. That's alright. Get rid of that. Don't need that. I'm just working on the sounding right now. Oh, it went back to local dynamic. It should be local dynamic. And then what I want to do is I want to like really I think this should be getting destroyed on the bullets end rather than on the target end, but just to get this working. So I think now work. Yep. This is so fun. Alright, so that seems to be working, but because, so one important thing we need to do is, well, because these are, this is like a multiplayer game, so I'm going to use this base object and I'm going to make sure this is set to replicates, so that's a very important thing. I'll also replicate movement as well, so everybody else gets that, it just works, and this can send messages to the server. And this code will be running locally, but with destroying things, you never really want to load that client side. It has to be destroyed to the server, and then the server tells everybody, other clients, that it's been destroyed. So what I'm going to do is just here, is just do the switch as the authority. And that'll make it only destroy, well not destroy, but get registered on the server rather than the client side. So, now we've got this. What we need is a respawning system. It's going to be hard. It's like that I go through and just place all these targets manually, but I feel like that's a bit shit. I don't really do that. I never like to place things manually. That's just not my style. Things just have to be generated, like, randomly. I know it sort of like prevents the hand crack and stuff, but I guess if you have to hand place a few, like say, oh, I specifically want to target here, I can do. Oh, my headset's lost tracking, I think. It's back now. So, I think I've got 2 options, maybe 3, of how I can do stuff. So, because I don't, so I might need to have, I was going to say, once this spawns, once this gets destroyed, I could place, like, I've seen this done recently in a plugin, and it's a quite cool way, is that, like, you spawn a blueprint just to perform an action, such as, like, a timer, and then it destroys, and it just sort of, like, then destroys itself and gets tidied up afterwards. That's a solution, so I could, like, destroy it, and before I destroy it, spawn this timer object, and then do that, but I need to know, each object sort of, like, the world needs to know how many targets there should be, and maybe if I have different types. So I do think I need a spawn manager. But the problem, maybe it's not a problem, but again, because the game's quite small, it shouldn't really be an issue. However, if you start adding in spawn managers, then you have to start doing it like one for each type of object, whereas like if the object's already in the scene, then they sort of like manage themselves. But then you lose that flexibility, so you sort of need to have a spawn manager. So I think that's the solution that I need to go, because if I place 20 targets in the scene, then I'm always going to be limited at 20 targets. I could do it that if a target exists in the scene and I could just have it spawn its own manager that gets used for everybody. So if one target is in the scene, like its initial one, that could kick off everything else. So that is an option, and I might do that just to make sure that maybe in the future I'll probably do that. But I think for now, I think I just need a target. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a new folder called target. Drop one in there. And call this like got like PP underscore AM underscore target manager, and then before I forget, add that to the scene. Make this replicated, because otherwise we'll be fucked. And then let's give our target manager. It'll be silly, but let's just give it a prompt, like an icon. We might as well just give it. Well, I can't give it this tag icon, not confusing. looks fun. Not important at all. Might even make it a little, but it's just so that. I know where it is in the scene. I can look at it and be like, "Oh, that's my manager right there." So actually, rather than making this not a target manager, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, because I'll be using a very similar code, I'm going to call this. I'm just going to move it up in there. And I'm going to call this just Spawn Manager. Cut that out. And then get child class. I make this specific for targets. So whether or not you noticed the difference, but the difference is that now if I write just generic spawning code for this manager, they'd all inherit from it, rather than me having to like reuse the same piece of code over and over and over again. So now this makes it quite nice and flexible. So now I can do a bulk of my programming here, and then this target one should just get it solved instantly. And because I'm going to be using like this object class anyway, so to spawn stuff with targets and pickups and anything else in the game, I can really make this quite flexible. So I can say like and do uptime object. Oh shit. And now this target one would inherit from this object to spawn. But now I can override it with a target. That's some basic setup. So that's a lot. So I think I need to do this more often. But what I can do is just, I was going to say like record, but I'll probably just do a separate recording just so show like what I've just achieved. It's a lot easier to just record as you go, then I don't know, it's a lot easier to just record it straight after the fact whilst everything's set up and it's still fresh in your head. That's something that I've been neglecting, is just not getting enough videos. Like whenever I wanted to show videos, it's just never been enough. I think I need like really small videos as well, maybe to help with like marketing. So like TikTok, that might be useful. So I've been over relying on like my thumbstick to turn, because that's just like, I just had that set to turn like a default, and then this class just inherited from it. So I've been using that to turn, but really this is good because it's not just direction. It is like if I turn my fists, then I can get some controlling. So I need to figure out like the amount of how much the sensitivity and stuff, but I guess that comes down to play testing. And how maneuverable I want these people to be, because I don't think I want them to turn on a dime. I want it to feel like you're a bit like, you know, you're fighting, you're a bit of like a machine, you're like a heavy machine, not like a, you know, like a very nimble thing. I want it to feel like you're slugging it out. So you have to like plan your turns, and you might have to like bank around here just to get like a good turn in. If you're going, that's if you're going too fast. Like if you're going a bit slow, like cruising, you might be able to like, or if you do like a cool thing where you like I think what I was saying earlier, where if you like pull back with your thumbsticks, you could just like try and like pull it in reverse. So then you could do some tactics where like you speed up and slow down. But then I need to sort of think maybe what to use the grip buttons for, because the grips feel quite natural to use rather than thumbsticks, but then constantly pushing pressure on your thumbs. Maybe it's gonna be fucking ridiculous, but maybe it's like a again, I don't know how complicated, but I could do it like a clutch, like a clutch system. So like when you stand from a standstill, in order to like, you can't just like squeeze and go. You have to like slowly like rev up your motors, and then like hit the clutch, and then that's when you go. So it's a bit like a maybe like a motorbike or whatever, where you have to like, if you don't get enough clutch, then you could like stall. But then is that just adding like an added layer of difficulty for a game where it is supposed to just be like just shooting your mates out of the sky, not like an accurate like flight sim, because it's never going to be accurate, especially with a game like this. So it's like, well, what's the point trying to make it accurate? But the question would still remain is, what do I do with the grips then? If I use the thumbsticks, you know. Or maybe it is sort of like a throttle adjustment. So you don't have to constantly be pressing forward. You can sort of like press it forward and let go, and then you're cruising at that speed. That could be alright, you know. So if you're cruising really fast, it'll be like an afterburner sort of thing, where that might be the better solution. So like you start off when you sort of like get cruising, but in order to like take off, you might need a bit of petrol. But then if you do that, you'll soon, and the amount of petrol you use goes up exponentially. So you use it to get out like tricky situations, and you feel yourself like absolutely rip through the city. But you'd soon like get burnt out and then like just fall out of the sky. Or they just like split along, like really, really slowly. But these are still like details that I might just have to just create the different variations and just see which control scheme that people want. But I think maybe me being as like on the server, if I was controlling it, if I make the control schemes flexible enough, I should be able to change it on the fly. There's like even mid game can be like, oh, do you guys prefer this? And I press a button and it just changes it for everybody. That could work as well. So right now I'm just trying to think, how would I spawn in a predetermined or an unpredetermined amount of targets around the city distributed? So I think I'm lucky because we've got like a volume, so I could do it as like a random point in a radius and in navigation. No, not navigation because he's building full of it. So a random point in the box. Then I'd have to do like a collision test. Oh. So maybe let's try that before I go to bed. It's quite late, as you can tell by the time I have one. Rather than trying to draw a box like that, it's probably easier if I just add my box to it. I don't want this overlapping anything, so I'm trying to know what to do then. So I can preview that, and then I can Now say. I can do a really shit thing right now. I can like delay 2 and say like so hold it now, and then you can sort of see this box. So now if I actually, let's make this public as well. I'll do it like a little tag. So it's definitely working. So before too many get spawned in. Shit. Maybe that's a bit better. Maybe I won't give that option. I won't get any lighting stuff. So I'll have to think of a good sound effect for this. So it doesn't look like any's clipping through the world now. That's good. It's a massive monster ones. I guess just to make double check on performance though, so I could say I'm big in play. Probably just want to, and this is possibly unnecessary, but just want to do that in case. And then what I could possibly do is say I'm big and play delay 10 seconds to get target destroyed. Just to give myself, just prevent too many being spawned in right now. So that's good. So what does like almost pretty decent extent. Or maybe that's right. And then I think I just need some really shit sound just for it. Because again, that's one of the things I learned is you need to have sounds. I want some sort of like bit tuning sort of like fungies. So many fucking sounds to go through. Right, I think I've got enough sounds to be going. So. obviously I don't want that because they're doing that. When that's calling it, so I'd rather just call it when just only a bullet hits it. Keep it simple, stupid. This is a lot more fun now. I can actually just play this, even testing it. Right, so I think I've done quite a lot for what I wanted. So I've got 20 minutes more burn, which I forgot, and I've been bored. So 1.5 hours. So I think that is a fairly good amount of work. I'm very happy with that. The amount of work I've got done on this because I've been procrastinating so long, and then when I do get to sit down, something pulls me away. I would rather like shooting work, but Nice. I'm happy with that. So thank you for watching, and I'm going to record, just do a separate recording like I mentioned, but thank you for watching. And if you like what you saw, subscribe, it would mean a lot. Bye for now.